So let's break down what could be one of the most important heavyweight fights of 2026, Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. This isn't just another heavyweight prospect fight anymore. The vacant IBF Heavyweight Championship is officially on the line after Oleksandr Usyk vacated the belt. Itauma enters undefeated at 14-0 with 12 knockouts, while Hrgovic comes in at 20-1 with 15 knockouts. And the story couldn't be more interesting. You have Moses Itauma, the 21-year-old phenom who many believe could be the next superstar of the heavyweight division. And then you have Filip Hrgovic, a 34-year-old former Olympic bronze medalist who has spent years knocking on the door of the heavyweight title. This fight is basically youth, speed, and explosiveness versus experience, size, and heavyweight toughness. So let's break it down. Let's start with Moses Itauma. At just 21 years old, Itauma is already being discussed as one of the most exciting young heavyweights in boxing, and it's not just because he's undefeated, it's how he's been winning. Itauma has stopped 12 of his 14 professional opponents, and his last 2 victories came against former world title challengers Dillian Whyte and Jermaine Franklin. That's a serious progression for a fighter who's only 21. When we talk about his fight style, first thing we need to talk about is the speed. This might be Itauma's biggest advantage. Heavyweights aren't supposed to move like he does. Itauma has extremely quick hands for a man his size. He can close distance quickly, throw combinations, and get out before his opponent has time to respond. And that's especially dangerous against Hrgovic, isn't the quickest heavyweight in the division. And of course, we have to talk about the power. Itauma has legitimate heavyweight power, but what's impressive is that his power isn't dependent on landing up on every punch per se. He can hurt opponents with combinations, straight punches, hooks, and shots coming from different angles. That makes him difficult to read. And of course, we have to talk about the southpaw advantage, which in my opinion goes to Itauma. He fights at southpaw. That creates an interesting tactical problem for Hrgovic, who's an orthodox fighter. The lead hand battle becomes extremely important. Itauma's left hand is obviously his biggest weapon, but his right hook can also create openings as Hrgovic tries to establish his jab. And of course, we have to talk about the versatility of Moses Itauma. One of the biggest reasons Itauma has generated so much hype is that he's not simply a pressure fighter. Itauma's ability to box, counterpunch, set traps, and fight inside rather than relying on one-dimensional aggression. That's very important because Hrgovic is going to force him to show every part of his game. When we take a look at Itauma's recent run here, it's an incredible run in my opinion. And notice the progression. Each fighter he keeps facing is better than the last. There aren't all elite opponents per se, but Itauma has been steadily stepping up the level of competition while continuing to find stoppages. The Jermaine Franklin fight was particularly important because Franklin was known for being durable and difficult to stop. Itauma stopped him in the 5th round, and that told us a lot. Now let's talk about Filip Hrgovic. This is where things get interesting because Hrgovic isn't some young prospect waiting to be discovered. He's been around. He's fought elite contenders. He's been in 12-round fights. He's been tested, and he's already experienced what it's like to lose at the highest level. First thing we got to talk about with him is the size. Hrgovic is the bigger man in this fight. He's listed around 6'5" with an approximately 82-inch reach compared with Itauma at roughly 6'4" and 79-inch reach. That gives Hrgovic a meaningfully reach advantage against a southpaw, and this could be especially useful. We also have to talk about Hrgovic's jab, his most important weapons. He wants to establish range, keep Itauma outside, and force the younger fighter to work his way in. If Hrgovic can consistently control the distance, he can make Itauma fight a much more difficult fight. And of course, we have to talk about the experience. In my opinion, this is Hrgovic's biggest advantage when you're comparing both of them. He's had 21 professional fights compared to Itauma's 14, and he's accumulated significantly more rounds at the professional level. And more importantly, he's fought at championship distance. Itauma has never fought at a world title. Hrgovic has been at that environment. When things get difficult in round 9 or round 10, Hrgovic knows exactly what it feels like. And of course, we do have to talk about his durability and physical strength. Hrgovic is not an easy man to physically bully. He is strong, experienced, and comfortable fighting heavyweights. And unlike some fighters who wait when they're hurt, Hrgovic has demonstrated that he can fight through adversity. But there's a major question here. Can he handle Itauma's speed and power for the whole 12 rounds? And taking a look at Hrgovic's recent run, Hrgovic has won 3 straight since his stoppage loss to Daniel Dubois back in 2024. And those wins are important. He beat Joe Joyce, he beat David Adeleye, he stopped Dave Allen earlier this year. Now, granted, these fighters are a little past their prime, way past their prime. I'm just being nice, honestly speaking. But Hrgovic isn't coming into this fight on a downward spiral. He's rebuilt himself, the confidence is there, and with the way his attitude is coming into this fight, it's actually encouraging because stylistically this is fascinating. Moses Itauma is faster, he's younger, he's the southpaw, more explosive, more versatile. Hrgovic is bigger, more experienced, longer, he has the stronger jab, more championship round experience. This is essentially a young phenom versus the experienced contender. Now, when we compare the southpaw versus orthodox, that battle is interesting because this is going to be a fascinating tactical battle. Itauma's left hand will be coming toward Hrgovic every time, coming towards Hrgovic's lead side. Hrgovic will want his jab to disrupt Itauma's rhythm and prevent him from getting comfortable. The fighter who controls the lead hand battle could dictate the entire fight. And of course, we do have to compare the speed versus experience. This is where I think Itauma has a significant advantage. He's simply faster, all right? But speed doesn't automatically win heavyweight fights, especially against someone like Hrgovic. Hrgovic has been around long enough to know how to deal with pressure. He doesn't need to match Itauma's speed. He needs to control where the fight happens. If he can make Itauma fight at long range, experience becomes much more valuable. And of course, we have to compare the power. This is probably the most dangerous part of the fight. Both men have legit knockout power. Itauma has stopped 12 of his 14 opponents. Hrgovic has stopped 15 of his 21 opponents. So neither fighter can afford to get reckless in this. One mistake at heavyweight can erase an entire game plan, just like Mike Tyson said. And of course, we do have to compare their cardio. This is a major question mark for Itauma, not because we've seen bad cardio from him, we simply haven't seen him push deep enough against someone on Hrgovic's level. Hrgovic has fought 10 and 12 round fights. He's been through difficult stretches. Itauma hasn't experienced that yet, at least not at the professional level. If this fight reaches round 10, we're going to learn something new about Moses Itauma for sure. Now, how does Itauma win? When it comes to the path to victory, I think he's going to use his speed as he always does. He's going to try his best not to stand in front of Hrgovic. Get in, get out, change angles, make the older fighter turn. And then, of course, he's going to try to attack the body. This could become a huge weapon. If Itauma attacks Hrgovic's body early, he can slow down his legs and make his pressure less effective. And of course, he's going to try his best to not get drawn into a jab battle. His fight IQ is up there. Hrgovic wants a technical, long-range fight. Itauma is going to use his superior speed to create openings rather than trying to out-jab the bigger man. And of course, we have to talk about the increase in the pressure gradually. Both fighters, in my opinion, I don't see them going into this fight to rush for a knockout. Itauma is going to try his best to make Hrgovic work, break down his defense, and then start opening up in the middle and late rounds. When it comes to the path to victory for Filip Hrgovic, the blueprint is completely different. He's going to establish the jab. This is absolutely critical. If Hrgovic allows Itauma to dictate range, he's going to spend the night reacting. The jab has to be there from round 1. And of course, he's going to try to keep Itauma at long range. He's going to try not to allow the younger fighter get inside and unleash combinations. He's going to make him work his way. And one thing I see Hrgovic doing, because he always does this, is make the fight physical. Hrgovic needs to use his size to lean on Itauma. That's what I see him doing. He's going to try to push him backward, make him fight in the clinch, make the younger fighter carry his weight. And one thing I look forward to seeing if he can succeed in is making Itauma get into the deep waters. This might be Hrgovic's biggest opportunity. If he can survive the early speed and power, the fight could change dramatically after maybe round 6. The longer this goes, the more experience becomes relevant. The biggest X factor in this fight is Itauma's ability to handle adversity. I think so. I think, in my opinion, that's what it is. We've seen him dominate. We've seen him knock people out. We've seen him look spectacular, but we haven't seen him hurt badly by a world-class heavyweight. We haven't seen him forced into a 10th or 11th round war, right? And we haven't seen how he responds when his first game plan doesn't work. That's what Hrgovic can test. The biggest question for Hrgovic is totally different. How much has he improved since he lost to Daniel Dubois? Daniel Dubois showed that Hrgovic could be hurt and stopped. Since then, Hrgovic has won 3 straight, but Itauma brings something different from Dubois. He's faster, he's younger, he's a southpaw, and he can attack from multiple ranges. And this is where I'm leaning in this fight. Hrgovic has the experience, he has the size, he has the jab, and he's dangerous enough to make Itauma work for every round. But I just think Itauma is simply too fast and too explosive. Honestly speaking, that's what we've seen. The biggest concern for Hrgovic is that he may not be able to consistently find Itauma, and he can't control the range. Itauma will start finding him. That's what I see happening. I expect Hrgovic to have success in some rounds. I think he's going to win some rounds depending on how long the fight goes. But as Itauma begins timing him, the speed difference becomes more apparent. Eventually, Itauma is going to start landing combinations with Hrgovic can't control, where Hrgovic just can't controllably defend. So my prediction for this fight, I got Moses Itauma winning by a TKO later in the fight, around round 8. I think Hrgovic survives the early rounds and gives Itauma his toughest test yet. But somewhere around the middle rounds, Itauma's youth, speed, and combination punching begins to take over. And once Hrgovic starts slowing down, Itauma's finishing instincts is going to take over. Moses Itauma, in my opinion, I do see him becoming the IBF heavyweight champion, and if he does, he will become the second youngest heavyweight world champion in history behind Mike Tyson. But let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you think wins this fight? Do you agree or disagree with anything I said in this breakdown? Let it go in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. If you like the video, it helps the algorithm a lot. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like more breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one.